You can now say goodbye to busted brackets because FanDuel is letting you bet on every game of the NCAA tournament. Whether you're betting on a big upset or a one seed, it's time to go dancing on America's #1 sportsbook. And right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets if their first $5 bet wins. That's $200 to use on point spreads, money lines. You can even pick who's going to win it all. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS and bet on college hoops until they cut the nets down. Bull, Joe Flacco is a member of the Indianapolis Colts. We found out this news just minutes after Jason Lloyd filed his initial column to The Athletic. And I wanted to make that very clear, Jason. Terrible timing on your column.
Bad day.
I'm excited for Joe. I'm glad he didn't have to sit around the whole year. He deserved to get a job. It was kind of
looking like he wasn't going to get one.
I know, but he deserved the job, and I'm glad he got it. And it's interesting because obviously the starting quarterback in Indy, Anthony Richardson, missed most of the season last year. There's a lot of mixed feelings about Anthony Richardson. People are either love him or they hate him.
I thought he was pretty good.
Anybody that loves him had him on their fantasy team.
Well, you don't think he's going to be a good quarterback, right, Richardson?
I never said that.
Well, I'm asking you. I remember you saying that, but I could be wrong.
When he first came out, or I didn't think that. I was like, I don't see it.
Yeah.
Like the big arm and the great speed, okay, that's fine. But there's more to the NFL than that. And it's not like his numbers was great. He ran the ball and he threw the deep ball. That was about it. I think at some point in time it's going to catch up to him. He's got to stand in the pocket, and he's learning that even though I'm 240, 250, I still need to get down.
Right.
So I think at some point if you make him play quarterback, that's the part that he got to develop. Improvise-wise, he runs out of the pocket and get those yards. He's like a young Josh Allen. He needs a coach that's going to critique him like Dable did with Josh Allen. That's my personal opinion. If he don't get that, I don't think he's a good quarterback.
So anyway, what do you guys think about Flacco? I mean, people are so the people that wanted Flacco back desperately are so worked up about this.
I know.
Jason. I know. Like, what were they expecting? You know what I realized? I didn't realize
You know why me and Jason, though? Because we sat here for months and told y'all that it wasn't going to happen.
It couldn't happen.
But here's the thing. I'm fine with Jameis replacing Joe Flacco. I would have been fine if Joe Flacco was back. I don't think it's that big a deal who the backup quarterback is. I don't think the difference between Joe Flacco and Jameis is meaningful.
Well, we live in the moment.
I know that.
Last year, all these quarterbacks went down, and it was a big thing. How many times has that happened in the 103 years of the NFL? Yeah. Not a lot.
And with very few exceptions, if your starting quarterback gets hurt, even if you make the playoffs, you don't win. We all could point to Nick Foles. I get it. It's rare. That's not the rule. That's the exception. What is baffling to me is that, listen, I get it. There's some people that hate Deshaun Watson and will never like him. We're all entitled to our own opinion. Fine. Okay. But you still, even within that world, have to be realistic. There are fans out there. I know it's not a lot of them, but there are fans that think not only that Joe Flacco should be on this team, but that he should be the starting quarterback of this team. And to me, you're high-level insane if you believe that. I mean, that's just batshit crazy. It really is.
There's some people in media, too. Like, I'm not going to
No, there's not. Who? Call them out. Name them right now.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Text me. I'll name them. They're idiots. I don't care who they are. Might be a friend of mine. I don't know.
Jay Crawford.
Jay doesn't.
No, Jay does not talk. It's no one that works with us.
So then call them out. Is it a radio person?
Yeah. From my understanding, I read an awful announcing article.
Yeah.
On one media member, one radio personality. It was Grossy. I'll just say it was Grossy.
Grossy said that he thinks Joe should be the starter?
This is why I didn't want to go there.
What did he say? Why? Who cares?
I'm reading from an off. I didn't listen to the segment.
Awful announcing's legit.
Awful announcing.
No, you gotta read. You gotta.
Here, hold on.
Don't fall for just clickbait.
Pull it up. I'll read you from the article.
Yeah.
Hold on.
You gotta read that yourself.
I gotta read it myself.
Clickbait is a thing.
No, here, just you guys. What do you think about him getting more money though? Steve, take the 195 full. The guaranteed money for
I'm getting back to
what
you were saying.
We will. No, we will.
Hiding from that subject.
But are you surprised that this is? So I took out Darnold and Minshew, who got more guaranteed money.
Yeah.
This is the guaranteed money for 5 quarterbacks who signed, presumably as quarterback twos. Are you surprised this is like Drew Lock got more than both Flacco and Winston? Mariota got more than both.
He's younger.
QB2 though.
Yeah, I mean the top three, but Jacoby Brissett. I mean,
Who is Drew Lock backing up?
I don't know. Where did he go?
Daniel Jones.
He should have got more.
A pair of scrubs.
I don't like that quarterback room at all.
No,
He should have gotten more.
That's going to be awful this
Because
year.
he probably could take that spot. I tell you what, though, my boy Paris told me that Danny Dimes is not as bad as y'all think. He actually is.
I agree. He's not that bad.
Like people say, like Danny Dimes is terrible. He said no. He actually is a really decent quarterback.
I actually think he's in the Baker class. I really do.
So he got potential to take off.
It's easy to laugh at that now, but 2 years ago, Daniel Jones had an excellent year, and Baker sucked. So,
But to the bigger point here, I think it does matter who the backup quarterback. Look at Deshaun's injury history. It matters.
I don't mean it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
I mean the difference to me between Flacco and Winston is negligible.
Jameis is significantly younger.
Yeah.
We talked about the other day. I think he fits what they want to do offensively better than Joe. You kind of gave me the stink eye. I'm not saying that he's.
I didn't give you the stink eye.
You gave me the stink eye. I'm not saying he's going to run for 500 yards. But
I gave you a stink eye because you said he was mobile.
yeah.
Stop
I
it.
think
Stop it.
Jameis has got a
He's
fat
not
ass. Come on,
he's
let's
not
go.
a statue. He's not Joe.
As someone
in the
with a
pocket.
fat ass, I could say that. Jameis has got a fat ass.
Make sure you, Anthony. Make sure you clip that.
PH or F?
That's worse.
No, a F.
That right there is worse than any quote that you got to be. Make sure
It's going up. Don't
put
worry.
it on the screen like you did me.
You could put a picture of Jameis's ass and my ass. Nobody would know the difference.
Let's not do that.
You just really.
All right, so I found the. Do you want? No, I'll save the Guardians news for after. We got a little bit. Of
Yeah,
Guardians
I
news
just
after.
saw that.
Oh, what?
It's
Well,
not good.
save it. Bo, let me read this.
Oh, must be
Let me
Gavin
read
Williams,
this.
right?
No.
No?
This is from Awful Announcing
Yeah.
reporting on what Tony Grossi said on the radio yesterday.
They always report on him because he says all kinds of stupid shit.
Well, Ben
Go ahead.
Axelrod, who used to work here, now writes for
Right,
Awful
right.
Announcing, so he's locked into the Cleveland stuff. And he may not be insinuating he should start without saying those words specifically, but you guys can take this how you want. Quote from Tony Grossi on the Really Big Show Wednesday. I probably owe the Cleveland Browns an apology for this reason. I'm sorry I had so much fun watching this and covering this team at the end of the year. We're not supposed to do that. We were all supposed to be in mourning and bag the season. We weren't supposed to have such fun, okay? That's the way I interpret this move. Shame on you guys for enjoying the fact that our starting quarterback we paid $230 million wasn't on the field. We want to win with him, not with anyone else. That's the feeling I get on this move. It's the fans' fault for finally having the joy of watching a quarterback make great throws and lead the team and get popular. So that's the feeling I get. That's my fault for finally enjoying what I was seeing on the field.
I don't know that means he's saying that Joe Flacco.
See what I'm saying?
It's
clickbait.
That's not fair.
Clickbait.
Well, that's what I said.
That's not fair.
I didn't want to say
I mean,
without
I don't know
fully
what the hell
reading.
he's really saying there. I'm a
Click.
little confused
He,
by
want,
that.
he wanted Joe back.
Right, but like
He ain't saying he the
he,
start.
like anybody else that wanted Joe back, is making way too big a deal of it. The insinuation that a turning 40 Joe Flacco would be able to capture the lightning in a bottle that was
Right.
not as great as we thought it was, because he still turned the ball over.
He had a
million
ton of
times.
interceptions. His arm was terrific.
His
he had,
arm was
he had
terrific. We
great
love him.
games.
I don't want to say anything bad about Joe.
Yeah.
He was great. He did
Yeah.
interviews. He was fantastic. Love him. He was great in that short stretch. But the odds of him being able to repeat something like that are minimal.
Yeah.
I think everybody's just selfish. I really do. He wasn't gonna start over Deshaun. Like,
No, of course not.
No matter
Right.
what happened, he was
No,
not. So
that's
why
right.
would you want to have a guy be miserable on the bench behind a quarterback that he's never gonna play over? So put him. Anthony Richardson's coming off of his shoulder injury or whatever his injury was. I don't know if he'll be 100% healthy for the beginning of the season. Maybe he gets a moment where he could go in there. Or if he does bad, they can pull him, put a veteran in there. Like I think his chances of seeing the field is much more significant in Indy than in
I don't
Cleveland.
know about that. Deshaun's had a lot of injuries the last couple of years.
Yeah, he has. The thing that I mean, Jameis has been kind of a knucklehead in his career.
Yeah, but by all accounts, he's really grown up.
Well, has he? Because he changed his coach's play call to get a guy a touchdown, and
Whoa, to
got
get
no
somebody a
problem with that.
bonus?
it wasn't a bonus.
No,
it was his first
his
touchdown.
first touchdown.
It wasn't a
Oh, I
bonus.
thought
I
it was
don't have a
for a
problem with
bonus.
that.
I actually kind of like that. I'll be honest.
I like
But
it
if
too.
you're a coach, can you trust him?
Yes.
I don't know. I got
That's
the
a
problem
fair
with
question.
that.
But I
His
of-
teammates
Of course,
love him.
of course, yes.
Teammates love him.
Yes, and that's the issue that I brought up with
And
Flacco.
the teammates love Joe too.
And they did. They loved him too much. Some of them loved him too much, which is why he couldn't come back. That's the premise. Like everyone keeps saying, when I say this, everyone says, well, then Deshaun should be tougher. And I'm telling you, it's a locker room issue more than it is a Deshaun issue. And if Deshaun had balled out in his 2 years here and put up monster numbers,
he would. It
you
would
could probably bring Joe back.
Yeah.
But he hadn't played well in 2 years. He hasn't played well here. It's been erratic, inconsistent, whatever word you want to use. So that is what leads to it could just rot a locker room. This guy's been in them. He's the one saying it too. Like it's an unnecessary problem that you're inviting in for not a very good reason when there's other guys out there. My only issue with Jameis, yes, he's loved in the locker room and that's great, but if you're a head coach, can you trust him? I don't know that you can. Throws 30 interceptions. He's gotten better the last couple of years, but he's threw 30 interceptions. He's changing the play call at the end of a game when it's over to get a guy a touchdown where there's not a contract bonus involved. It's to get a guy's first touchdown. So, of course, your teammates are going to like him, but from a team perspective, from a head coach, front office, can you trust this guy if you need him? I don't know. I would have preferred Jacoby Brissett.
I have zero problem with that.
I would have preferred Jacoby Brissett. Clearly, Brissett wanted to go to New England. I think the Browns would have preferred Brissett.
Yeah.
He chose New England. Fine.
If you look at Jameis' career touchdown to interception, it's actually better than I thought it was.
Well,
it is.
He had a couple years ago, he had like 14 touchdowns and 3 picks.
Yeah. I
So
think he has like
helps balance
35
the
more
numbers.
touchdowns than picks, which, listen, his picks have been way too high in his career.
Yeah.
But it's not. There's some people that talk about him as if he has more picks than touchdowns in his
he has
career.
42 more touchdowns than interceptions.
Okay, 22.
No, 42.
42? Okay. This is a complicated thing. It's not just about Joe Flacco. Most of this is not about Joe Flacco.
Right.
This is about the fact that a lot of people don't like Deshaun Watson. And I get it. And most of those people would have come around had Deshaun Watson played well. Because everybody gets up in arms, and I get it. What Deshaun Watson was accused of is awful. It's awful. Yeah. And people are not. I'm not going to kill somebody for thinking he did what he's been accused of, and I'm not going to kill anybody for thinking he didn't do it or whatever.
Right.
You believe whatever you believe because none of us know for sure. So what Deshaun Watson was accused of is awful, and Jameis has some of that in his background too. So people are like, we've already had to put up with this Deshaun. Now you're bringing in another guy who's a questionable character in the same vein. And, like, I don't want to deal with that. And there's a component of race in this conversation.
Yep.
But ultimately, this is about how Deshaun Watson plays. Deshaun Watson, for the most part, outside of the second half of the Ravens game, has been a massive disappointment in Cleveland. There's no other way around it. He has not been good here. And ultimately, the 40% of the fans that hate the fact that Watson's the quarterback, none of them are coming around. In fact, that number's growing because he hasn't played well. And if he plays well, then it goes away for most people, and none of this other stuff matters.
Could you imagine if they bring Flacco back and Deshaun throws 2 picks in the first half or 3 picks in the first half? There'd be people chanting for Flacco in the stadium.
Jason,
the Browns don't need that. You don't need that.
Even without Flacco on the team, if that happens, they'll still be chanting for Flacco. It's still going to happen. Not as many, but it still will happen.
If we had Baker Bros, we have Flacco Bros or
Flacco Fluffers.
It's wild, man. It's wild.
All I know is
if
people feel that way about if there's distractions and stuff that's going on with quarterback 1 and then quarterback 2 has that, the only job is to bring Phillip back because Phillip has none of that going on and he wins games.
Phillip's clean as a whistle.
So bring Phillip back.
Oh, Lord.
Go Browns.